Why making money is easy. But keeping it for 100 years is the real challenge. We build legacies by shifting from immediate accumulation to the rigorous logic of 100-year horizons. We dismantle the myth of passive growth, replacing it with 5 specific cognitive filters, from radical diversification to anti-fragile estate structures, that ensure capital survives the inevitable erosion of time, incompetence, and global shifts across multiple generations. Most new money fortunes vanish by the 3rd generation because they focus on accumulation rather than survival logic. While the average investor chases monthly returns, the world's most powerful CEOs are utilizing 5 specific cognitive filters to safeguard wealth against time, incompetence, and global shifts. Here is how they build legacies that last a century. The secret blueprint. Building wealth is easy, but keeping it for 100 years is nearly impossible without the right psychological tools. To survive the inevitable shifts of 2026 and beyond, you must transition from immediate gains to radical diversification. These 5 mental frameworks are the hidden architecture behind the world's most enduring family dynasties and their lasting capital. Have you ever noticed how some people make millions and lose everything within a decade, while other families stay wealthy for generations? Lottery winners go broke. Professional athletes earn fortunes and end up bankrupt. Successful entrepreneurs build empires, only for those empires to disappear after 1 generation. So here's the real question. If making money is so difficult, why do so many people lose it once they have it? The answer is simple. Building wealth and keeping wealth require completely different mindsets. Making money is often about taking risks. Keeping money is about managing risks. And as we move into 2026 and beyond, the world is changing faster than ever before. Artificial intelligence, economic uncertainty, shifting industries, global competition, changing currencies, new technologies. The people who thrive won't necessarily be the smartest or the richest. They'll be the people who develop the right mental frameworks. Today, we're exploring the 5 psychological frameworks that have helped some of the world's most successful families preserve wealth across generations. These aren't investment tricks. They're not get-rich-quick schemes. They're ways of thinking that help wealth survive long after it's been created. Let's begin. Framework 1. Think in decades, not in days. Most people are trapped in short-term thinking. They ask questions like, how much can I make this month? What stock will double next year? How do I become rich quickly? Wealthy dynasties ask a different question. What decisions will still make sense 20 years from now? This shift changes everything. Imagine planting an oak tree. You don't expect shade tomorrow. You expect shade decades later. The same principle applies to wealth. Many people sacrifice long-term opportunities for short-term comfort. They chase trends. They panic during downturns. They jump from opportunity to opportunity. But lasting wealth is usually built through patience. The most successful investors often hold assets for years or even decades. Business owners who create enduring companies focus on long-term value rather than immediate profits. The wealthiest families understand something powerful. Time is often more important than timing. Instead of asking, what can make me rich this year? Ask, what can create value for the next 20 years? That simple shift can completely change your financial future. Framework 2. Diversification is a survival strategy. Many people think diversification is boring. The wealthy think it's essential. History teaches a harsh lesson. Every industry eventually changes. Every economy experiences cycles. Every asset class rises and falls. At one point, railroads dominated transportation. Then automobiles arrived. Then airlines. Then digital businesses transformed entire industries. Nothing stays on top forever. That's why the most successful wealth-preserving families rarely place everything in one basket. They diversify across businesses, real estate, stocks, cash reserves, international assets, agricultural investments, private investments, and increasingly, technology-driven opportunities. Diversification doesn't maximize gains during boom periods, but it dramatically improves survival during difficult times. Think of diversification as building multiple pillars beneath your future. If one pillar weakens, the structure remains standing. The goal isn't to win every year. The goal is to survive long enough to win over a lifetime. Framework 3. Own assets, not just income. Many people focus entirely on earning money. The wealthy focus on owning things that generate money. There's a huge difference. Income requires continuous effort. Assets can continue producing value long after the work is done. For example, a salary pays when you work. A rental property may generate income while you sleep. A business may earn revenue without your daily involvement. Dividend-producing investments can create recurring cash flow. Agricultural land can produce food and income for decades. Intellectual property can generate royalties for years. This principle matters everywhere. Whether you live in North America, Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, or Oceania. Even in developing economies, asset ownership matters. For some people, that asset may be farmland. For others, livestock. For others, a small business. For others, digital content. The specific asset may differ, but the principle remains the same. The wealthy don't simply work for money. They gradually acquire things that work for them. Each asset becomes another engine driving future wealth. Framework 4. Adaptability is the new security. Many people believe stability comes from staying the same. The reality is often the opposite. The world changes. Industries evolve. Technologies emerge. Consumer behavior shifts. The people who survive are usually those who adapt. Think about the rise of artificial intelligence. Some jobs may disappear. Others will be transformed. Entire industries may look completely different within the next decade. The wealthiest families understand this. They don't become emotionally attached to old ways of doing things. Instead, they continually ask, what is changing? What opportunities are emerging? What skills will matter in the future? Adaptability isn't about abandoning principles. It's about updating strategies. The companies that survive for generations continuously reinvent themselves. The same applies to personal wealth. Your ability to learn may become more valuable than any individual investment. In a rapidly changing world, flexibility becomes a competitive advantage. The future belongs to those who remain curious. Framework 5. Think like a steward, not an owner. This final framework may be the most important. The world's longest-lasting wealthy families often view themselves as stewards rather than owners. What's the difference? An owner thinks, this belongs to me. A steward thinks, I am responsible for protecting this and passing it forward. That mindset changes decision-making. Instead of maximizing short-term consumption, stewards prioritize preservation. Instead of asking, what can I buy? They ask, what can I build? Instead of focusing on status, they focus on legacy. This applies to more than money. It applies to values, knowledge, skills, relationships, business principles. The most successful family dynasties don't simply transfer wealth. They transfer wisdom, because money without wisdom rarely survives. When you begin thinking like a steward, your perspective expands. You stop thinking about your next purchase. You start thinking about future generations. And that's where true legacy begins. Let's quickly recap the 5 mental frameworks. 1. Think in decades, not days. 2. Diversify for survival, not excitement. 3. Own assets, not just income. 4. Stay adaptable in a changing world. 5. Think like a steward, not an owner. Remember, making money is difficult, keeping it for generations is even harder. The families and individuals who succeed long-term understand that wealth isn't built by a single investment. It's built by a system of thinking, a collection of habits, a set of principles, a mindset designed to survive uncertainty. As 2026 approaches and the world continues to evolve, the greatest asset you can develop may not be your portfolio. It may be your perspective, because fortunes come and go. But the right mental framework can create wealth that lasts for generations. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who wants to build not just wealth, but lasting legacy. And remember, the goal isn't simply to get rich. The goal is to stay wealthy long enough to change future generations. See you in the next video.